Hey, so we're back at it again with another tutorial. So the previous one that I went over was to install Go onto a Mac OS. And then I also set up a simple print statement that just said hello world. So in this next video, we're just going to go over how to create a module and then being able to call that module in our main function. So the first step we'll take is just to remove this print statement that we had from the previous video. We no longer need that now. And the next step that we'll take is to kind of just set up our project structure. So I'll be working in the command line or in the terminal here and also here in the UI. I just kind of want to give some examples of how to use the terminal and just certain commands that are used commonly. So the first thing we'll do is we'll create a directory. So we'll do mkdir, which means make directory. And we're going to create a directory called cmd, which our main function will go into. So I just created that directory, and as you can see, it's empty. So to be able to move our main.go file into that directory, we could just drag and drop the file into there using the UI, but I'll show you how to do that using the terminal. So we'll do mv, which means to move, and the next two commands will be from what we want to move and to where. So what and to where. So what we want to move is the main.go file, and where do we want to move it? Into the cmd directory. So we'll type that, and as you can see, it disappeared. It's no longer there. It is now inside the cmd directory. So now we have that set up. So next thing we'll do is we will create the Go module file that will be in the base of our project. So as you can see, we're currently here in the calculator directory. This is what this means. That's where we're currently at. And if you're ever using a terminal and you don't know where you're at, you can always do pwd, and that means present working directory. So it'll give you all the way from the base of your computer all the way to where you're currently at. So right now, we're in the calculator directory. So, and you can use clear to clear out your console if it ever gets a little too messy. So the next thing that we want to do is create that Go module file for the base of our project. So we'll do go mod. So this is go mod init, meaning we're going to initialize our module. And it's common practice to use your GitHub account URL for this. So I'll use github.com and then my username. And this here is the base for my GitHub account. The next part of it, I'll make it specific to this project. So in this case, it's calculator. So I'll do calculator. And there you go. Now I have my module created. And as you can see, this new file popped up over here. And that is the Go module for the base of this project. And then it's going to ask you to go ahead and just tidy up the project. Just make sure there's no issues. So now everything looks good. All right, so the next thing to do is create a directory for our math funcs. So this is going to be that separate module that we're going to end up calling inside our main file in main.go. So we're still in that calculator directory. So what we want to go ahead and do is create another directory called math funcs, and that creates that math funcs directory. And then we're going to create a file to go inside there. And again, you can use the UI if you want, but I'm just going to show you how to do that through the terminal. So touch creates a file, but that file will be empty. So we'll do touch, and then we also have to specify where it's going to be. So in this case, we don't want to do it in the calculator directory. We want to do it in the math funcs directory. So I'm going to do math funcs, and then I'll title the file the same name as the directory. So mathfuncs.go. So now we come over here to the side, you can see that math funcs now has a file inside. And if you wanted to do that in the terminal, you would just issue the ls command, math funcs, and then it'll tell you what's inside. There's a lot of different commands that you can use to list out the files and get more details about those files, but that's the most basic one to list out the files that are inside the directory. So now we have that file, and we can go ahead and look at that and see that it's empty. So we'll go ahead and just close this out for now. And then inside our terminal, we're going to go ahead and cd, which means to change directory, and we're going to move inside that math funcs directory. So now we're inside that math funcs directory, and what we're going to do is create another module, but a module that's specific to that's specific to math funcs. So we're going to do go mod again, init, and then I'm just going to, I don't have it, so I'll just type it out again. So github.com, my username, and then actually, just to show, to get that base module, that base module path, you can just come into this file here and copy it. Nice. That way I don't have to keep typing it out again. So again, this is for math func. So I got that base one that I have for my whole project that goes up to calculator. But what I'm gonna do is just add on another one, another part to this path called math funcs. So now this module will have that path. And then we'll just do go mod tidy. And while we're in this math funcs directory, let's just go ahead and open up that file. And we're gonna go ahead and populate it with a function just to do addition. So at the top of the file, you have to type in whatever package name it'll be. So we have package math funcs. And now I'm thinking about it, I think there's also a naming convention that you're supposed to follow when it comes to packages. I think you're supposed to have the whole thing be lowercase, but in this case I camel cased it. And when I say camel case, I mean the first letter of the word is lowercase and then the second word is uppercase. But I can go ahead and change that later. But for now, we'll go ahead and continue on. So we have function, and we're going to create an add function. GitHub Copilot is great. It already knows what I want to do. So we'll go ahead and save that. So now all that is done, we're going to go ahead and cd ... which will take us back up to the parent, which is the calculator directory. So now we're back in the calculator directory. We'll go ahead and clear this so that we have some room. So now we have our module created for math funcs, and we also have our main.go file. Now to be able to link the two so that main.go can reference this add function, what I have to do is modify the Go module for the base of the whole project. So I typed that out earlier. So we'll just, in this case, I'm just using the up arrow so that I can get back to the previous commands that I issued. And I'm just trying to get to this replace one. So this replace command here allows you to use this path inside my code in main.go to reference the package or module, but in turn it will actually be rerouting it so that it'll be calling my path that exists in my local. Now the reason why people use this here is because in production, this code will actually be here in GitHub, and you can reference the code at this link here in production. But right now, I don't have this code posted in GitHub yet. So I'm going to kind of have to fake it and reroute it to my local, which would come here to this directory here. So we go and issue that, and then we do go mod tidy. All right, so we come back to main.go, and now we just want to do a simple print statement, print ln, and we'll do math funcs. GitHub Copilot is great. Do that. Save that. All right, so it's giving me some errors. Not too sure what the issue is yet. There we go. Go mod tidy, fixes it right up. So anytime you're having an issue with something, try and issue go mod tidy and see if that'll help with the issue. If not, then you'll have to do some further debugging. But that's like the first thing to try is use go mod tidy, because sometimes the files will kind of get out of whack, and then it needs you to kind of like refresh and kind of like reset the configs. At least that's the way I see it with go mod tidy. I haven't really looked too much into that command, but that's what I kind of envision when I'm using it. So the next thing we want to do now that we have our module created, and then we have our main.go file, and now we have the reference to it. All we want to do now is just validate that this function actually works. That it's going to add 1 and 2 and give us 3. So we just do go run, and then we're doing go run, and we have to, and I almost forgot, we have to make sure we're referencing the directory path that the main.go file is in. So in this case, it's going to be cmd and then main.go. And there you go. You can see that it's returned the number 3, And that's it. That's how you kind of structure your project. And then that's also how you can call another, that's how you create one module and then you're able to call it from another file. So hope this video was helpful and I'll continue to put out more.